All right, Nick, let's break down this video real quick. This will be a short one. So here you are coming out of the back, and yeah, I mean, you're just there's a lot that if you look at the position right here, right, and we get back here and we draw our lines, okay, you're already starting to lean in, right? I mean, you look at your position here. This is not, look, it's not where you want to be. Here's your hip. All right, here's the ring. Here's the outside of the ring. Let's do that again. So here's the ring. Let's say the back of the ring, right? And here's your hip right here. You're way, way, way leaned in. Okay. So as we watch, just I guess here when you start kind of kicking your leg. I mean, this position is not where you want to be. Okay. You want to be definitely. You want to be a little more up. Your hip should still be back here, right? So that's why part of the reason as to why when you drive through here, right, you're getting such a massive step. I mean, look here, your foot's not even off the ground, right? This one's about to land. Look, okay, this foot's now hit the ground. Okay, and see this foot way, way, way out of position, right? This thing should be probably up around here. So um, yeah, this is what we're talking about as far as getting off your leg a little faster. Let's see. I mean, you're able to get it down right here, decently. You're so quick, that you get it down to compensate, but I mean, this position is not, what we've seen in your other videos, right? I mean, you're kind of fighting the toe board and you're standing up a little tall. Um, let's go back here. And let's talk about the arm real quick. Let's talk about this arm, okay? When I was talking with Jim, what we were talking about was, here you are, you're leading out with your arm. I would like to see, I would like to see your arm instead of, like this. I'd like to see your arm, more in line with your shot arm. But as you come through here, right, when you get the when this arm, is starting down. Here's the left sector, right? When this arm starts to when basically gets to the point where it's pointing down the left sector, you should be driving, okay? So if we look at where your arm is, let's see, let's go back through here, we come here. Okay, so yeah, your arms, I would kind of estimate it, around the sector line, and you've got it, kind of nice and parallel with your other arm. But as you come through here, right, now you're kind of trying to yank yourself around with it, and you don't actually initiate your drive into the middle, right, until I mean, here you're basically in rotation mode, rotation, rotation, rotation. You're starting a little bit, but if you watch this, watch when you start to actually push off your foot. Okay, so watch. Here you are from this point where your foot is. Okay, look how little it moves, right? So it's just going, going, going. By the time this foot, and it never actually gets, going. It's by the time this foot gets to this, pointed towards the center of the ring, you're already super leaned. You're just leaned way too much into the center, right? So I mean, what's that going to do when you're leaned into the center, right? It's going to carry you in the center, right? So what's happening here is that it just basically throws you into the center of the ring, right? I mean, the reason you're covering 80% of the ring is that in this position, right, you have no choice. I mean, you're basically falling over. So when you finally get off this leg, you can't, and your other leg's out. I mean, you can't help but basically be, cover the entire distance of the ring. And then when you land up in the front here, you're tall, right? Because you don't really have any room. You don't have any room. If your foot was back here, right, you'd have room to get that bigger base and be, over, be more leaned over that leg. You'd want, have that weight on your leg, and you have a nice drive out of it, and you're getting good at, at finishing your throw. So that's good. You know, I like that. But today, this for this throw, it's a classic example of you, leaning in. Try not to lean in when you want to be slow out of the back. What we talk about when we're talking about getting slow out of the back, you can turn this leg. I mean, that's good to, to pivot on it, but look at the position it's in. It's already leaned into the center of the ring, right? When this part, this part probably is never going to be outside of the circle. Let's take a look. Yeah, I mean, look at where your knee is. Okay, here's your knee. I mean, it never really barely gets to the outside of the ring. We're talking about wanting your hip on the outside of the ring, right? Your shot's a little forward, so your shot should be back, and your hip should be over here, right? So just tomorrow, out of the back, try and be a little slower and stand a little, trying not to lean in. So if you have to stand a little straighter and try and get that hip out of the ring, right? Just try and see if you can get the hip out of the ring, and that should help correct the rest of your throw. I mean, by this point in time, I mean, when you're here, it's too late, right? There's no way to. I mean, you're doing a good job of correcting it and getting a decent throw off, but you've already wrecked your throw, sort of, right? I mean, you're not going to be able to hit the position you want, and you can see here your shots, kind of ahead of the game. So your throw already here is compromised, right? So you can't make a big throw out of this. I mean, the better you get, you'll be able to make decent throws, but to hit the big ones, you gotta look at the small stuff, right? So just to summarize, tomorrow, work on your move out of the back, and this is not the position you want to be in. You don't want to be leaned. I mean, you're already leaned into the ring, falling backwards. So I'll just work on that. Get another video tomorrow, and we'll take a look.